again, I think the mountain is even higher to climb than LeBron even imagined. And we talked earlier, boy, New Orleans looks really good. Denver looks really good. And the Clippers are interesting to me and are going to take pounds of flesh from a lot of Western Conference opponents and might be vying for that 8 spot before it's all over. So all of a sudden, who's the scapegoat here if it goes a little south or if it's just sort of a 500 team as you wobble along into February, March? Somebody's got to go. Somebody has to take the blame. And to me, even though I know Jeannie Buss really loves Luke, I think she loves him personally. Just he's fun to be around. He's a great guy. You've been around him. He's a really good-hearted guy. Does Magic love him? I think he likes Luke. Does LeBron love Luke? Well, he has no reason to love Luke. So, again, LeBron can be difficult to coach, and Brian Shaw is sitting right there. And I have high respect for Brian Shaw. And he got stuck in a bad situation in Denver, and he coached for parts of 2 seasons, and it did not go well. But he is highly regarded, and it would be a very easy segue to move him over 1 spot to another seat if they felt like they needed to jumpstart in March to make a playoff run, just to maybe make the playoffs. It would make sense that the odd man out and the guy with the odds to be the first to go, it would be Luke Walton. So I've thought that from the start. I thought this is the wrong place, the wrong time for Luke.
So even when you picked them to, what, 47 wins, 7 seed, you thought it would be without Luke? Like he still would get fired? I
just thought it was going to be really different. I didn't know then until, I know we're only 3 games in and it's early, but I'm seeing the problems manifest themselves as you have, that they're even worse than I thought they're going to be for the Lakers. But the other thing that's just shocking me is the West is even deeper than I thought. And I told you, I didn't have San Antonio in the playoffs. They're still pretty good.
I mean, they got 2 All-Stars, right?
They got 2 All-Stars.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought the same thing, that the Spurs weren't going to be that good and they would be the team that fell out. I'm not convinced of that. And I'm with you on Luke being the guy for a couple of reasons. The slow start hurts a lot because the Western Conference, you could find yourself, everybody got them, they're going to be a top 4 seed and have home court. If you're in the bottom 4 and you got to play Golden State or Houston in the first round, you can get knocked out in the first round. And people can't just say, well, they'll be fine. All 3 of those games, they had a chance to win. They win all 3 of those games. And then they go, well, those are the playoff teams. No, LeBron came here to be different, change what they did a year ago. With the kids last year, they didn't win. And I know they beat Golden State once or something. But it's totally different this year from the standpoint that they're not looking at, when you play the Lakers now with LeBron, it's a big game. It's not oh, they got some kids and you might want to take the night off or not play as hard. It's totally different. And the same thing, okay, I get it. Jeannie Buss loves Luke Walton. And Dan Gilbert loved David Blatt. Wasn't that his hire? That was his hire, right? And ultimately, LeBron and results, and the same thing, Pelinka and Magic, they didn't hire him. They could like him, Skip, and you know that, and think highly of him, but they didn't. He's not their guy.
Not connected to him.
Yes, they're not. So it would be easier, Chris, to me, if things get really slow start. Like if they don't beat the Suns tonight, that's a huge game.
You're not saying if they don't beat the Suns, he could get fired.
No, not get fired, but to be 0-4 and lose to the Suns, that would send an alarm to me.
Well, if it really goes south, then and they need a scapegoat, he's the obvious choice. I mean, it's not going to be Pelinka or Magic. It's not going to be LeBron or maybe even some of the other young players. It's going to be Luke Walton. He should clearly be favored because, first of all, if you look around the league, the only other guys I could see getting fired maybe during the season are like Scotty Brooks and maybe Thibodeau. And I'm not even, again, this is not inside information. I'm not saying they're on the hot seat, but there are a lot of first-year coaches. There are a lot of established coaches that you just know aren't getting fired.
And there are teams that just aren't that good, you know what I mean? So there's no expectation.
Yes, exactly.
And they're coaching those teams.
So the one thing that can, because you're right, Skip, I mean, it's tough to have 10 guys or 8 or 9 that are on the same level. Because then you got to decide which ones do I play, who sits tonight, and guys get upset and all that. The only thing that I believe that can save Luke, or the strongest chance of him being saved, is if Magic and Pelinka really empower him. They give him the authority, the security to coach the team and to coach LeBron.
Yep.
And if Luke has the guts to coach LeBron and tell him, you got to do this, you got to do that.
Good luck.
Well, if the front office empowers him to do it, he can do it. If he's got the fortitude.
They didn't bring LeBron here.
No, LeBron's locked up for 4 years.
No, I know, but they didn't bring him here for him to be upset.
What's he gonna do?
What? I mean,
if he's upset, what's he gonna do? If he pouts, it makes him look bad. Like, that's the thing, a player, like, if LeBron doesn't go out and play well, it's just gonna make him look bad because he's upset. Like, that's what happened. They wanted Eric Spoelstra out of there.
Yeah, but he lost that fight with Pat Riley.
And Pat Riley empowered him. And look, LeBron got 2 of his 3 rings in Miami under Spoelstra, a guy that had the authority to coach him.
Okay, but what happened? The report was from ESPN that LeBron went up to Pat's office and said, "Would you?" So he had an option. He had Pat Riley, who was
sitting there,
highly successful former head coach, and Pat said, "I'm done.
If you're gonna win, it's gonna be with this guy." And that's what I think Magic and Pelinka, if they like.
But the difference is
to tell LeBron and just maybe look. I'm not saying
Spoelstra was Riley's guy though. He's not their guy.
I know.
Picked him.
I'm just saying that's his only chance of coaching this team is if they give him the power to do it. If he has to tippy-toe and walk on eggshells around LeBron, then he's not going to be able to do it. It's as simple as that.
Okay, so everything's misfit to me because where the glut it manifests itself first is at point guard, because the best point guard on the team by far is LeBron James. He was born to play that position. He's still the best passer in basketball. He's even in the first 3 games. He's had at least 1 pass a night where I just sat back and said, that's just too good,
the other
man.
night, yeah.
That's just rare. That's like gift. Like, thank you, God. That's what that is. And yet, he says he wants to play off the ball. Then you have a young point guard who's still trying to prove himself that you're out on and you're kind of whatever on Lonzo. And then Rondo, who at Portland, he was the driving force of the team. And then he wasn't so good against Houston. But again, he's a very valuable piece. And I think LeBron trusts him a little more, even though I think LeBron has fun playing with Lonzo, playing off Lonzo. I like the way they looked the other night. And Lonzo is before your very eyes. He's becoming an adult. You can see it in his body and in his body language. So he deserves minutes. Rondo deserves minutes. And then the big preseason theme was, we love Brandon Ingram bringing the ball up the court. You do?
When he played point guard last year, do you remember that stretch?
Okay.
He played pretty well.
All right.
That's part of the thing.
So,
everybody's trying to bring the ball up.
So how are you going to... There's 1 basketball, and there are only 5 spots on the floor for 5 players, and all of a sudden, the various Lances and Michael Beasleys are going to say, it'll happen. It'll start. You're going to start hearing the murmurs out of the locker room. We deserve more minutes.
But here's the thing, Skip, that I don't understand. If LeBron kind of figured that this was going to be a year that they were going to see what's going on and, like, give up the year like they couldn't win, then Lonzo Ball should have been your starting point guard. You got to play the young guy to see if there's anything there. Like, Rondo, to me, is more like a stopgap.
The injury, too.
Okay.
You know,
but even once he's playing,
like,
though,
he may keep it. Maybe when, you know, if he plays well. See,
I'm
I
not
think
convinced.
If LeBron and Lonzo, if LeBron's on the ball, he can play with Lonzo. The way Lonzo's been shooting.
Well, if he's knocking down those threes.
Shooting threes. And even though Lonzo's a point guard, he gets rid of the ball quick. So he's
Very
not,
quick,
yeah,
like
he's not a ball, right. Yeah, I agree. But that can make him, you know, used to playing off the ball. Whereas Rondo, who I think right now is probably better than Lonzo, his game, if LeBron's handling the ball, I don't know what you do with Rondo, right? Because he's not a shooter. So they got some. The thing that could save Luke as well is they're viewing this year as an experiment. Like, for all, as much as we've killed the roster, they're looking at it like, it's 1 year.
Yeah, but
they're a bunch of one-year deals. And if it goes south, okay.
I don't think people are going to buy into that for the Lakers. If they fall and they're the 7th or 8th seed and get knocked out in the first round, this will be looked at as a failure.
Here's the point. Here's the difference. There's no pressure to win the championship this year, but trust me, there's huge pressure to make the playoffs, right? So if it starts to look like it's dicey that they're going to make the playoffs, that's when Luke's going to get in trouble. And the final piece to this puzzle we have not mentioned, and it's still shocking to me because I guess it's early, but we have heard nothing lately from one LeVar Ball. And if Lonzo gets beaten out by Rondo, and Rondo's getting the bulk of the minutes every night, and he's the starting point guard, after a while, you just know it. It may take a month, it may take 6 weeks, I don't know, but LeVar is going to go off on this situation.
You know what, Skip? I think Magic got to him. We haven't heard.
Because it's amazing.
He's
quiet.
I forgot about him until last night. I was thinking, whatever happened to LeVar Ball? I don't know.
I haven't minded it, though. I don't know. He's
No,
kinda
Suarez is nice.
and quiet.
I don't mind LeVar, though.
Oh,
I don't either. I like him. I miss you, LeVar. Where are you?
Oh,
Come out
God.
hiding.
Okay, well, we did just invite him. We're going to switch gears. Eric Reed lost his case